All right, if you're in the crypto world, you've definitely heard about MiCA, the massive new rulebook from the European Union. Today, we are going to zero in on a really critical piece of that puzzle, how you can legally launch a specific kind of crypto, an asset reference token, in this brand new landscape. Let's dive in.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about what this new era for crypto actually looks like under MiCA. Then we'll get real about the staggering cost of trying to handle all this yourself. After that, we'll explore a much smarter path to getting authorized. We'll put the two options head-to-head, and finally, we'll see how getting this right gives you a massive edge over the competition.
Okay, let's set the stage. The Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, MiCA for short, isn't just a friendly suggestion. Nope. It is binding law across all 27 EU member states. And believe me, it completely changes the game for anyone wanting to issue certain types of crypto assets.
And the specific crypto we're talking about today are asset reference tokens, or ARTs. Just think of these as tokens that try to keep a stable value because they're linked to something else in the real world. You know, like a stablecoin pegged to the euro, or maybe a token that's backed by a basket of commodities. If you're tokenizing real-world assets, yeah, this is probably you.
And here's the most important part, the real kicker. Since June 30th, 2024, it is straight up illegal to offer an ART to the public in the EU unless you have formal authorization from a national regulator. And the consequences for ignoring this, they are severe. We're talking criminal prosecution, having your assets seized, and personal liability for the company's directors. The stakes really could not be higher.
So, faced with this new reality, a lot of entrepreneurs make a really critical mistake. They try to handle this incredibly complex authorization process all by themselves. And, well, according to the legal experts who live and breathe this stuff, the results are pretty much a predictable disaster.
A do-it-yourself attempt usually crashes and burns in three main ways. First, your application just gets flat-out rejected. MiCA demands 13, that's 13, different categories of documents. If you miss just one, you're out, and you have to wait 6 months before you can even try again. Second, you get slammed with costly redesigns. A simple mistake like misclassifying your capital can set you back thousands of euros and months of work. And third, you end up raising huge red flags with the regulators. A vague white paper or an inexperienced team basically screams that you are not ready for prime time. So, what's the total price tag for all these mistakes? When you add up the legal fees to fix things, the operational delays, and the massive amount of lost revenue from not being able to launch, the total cost of a failed DIY attempt can spiral up to 2.4 million euros. For most projects, that's not just a setback. That is the end of the line.
But okay, there is a much better way. Instead of a chaotic, expensive solo attempt, the alternative is a systematic, guided process where you partner up with regulatory experts who've already been down this exact road before.
This guided path breaks the whole thing down into 6 clear phases. It all starts with strategic planning to make sure your business model is solid. Then it moves through super meticulous documentation and then on to submission and the whole regulatory review process. It turns what feels like an impossible mountain into a series of manageable, predictable steps. And the impact of this approach is just staggering. What is an 8 to 12-month marathon of pure uncertainty when you go it alone becomes a streamlined 3 to 6-month project with a clear finish line when you have the right guide. I mean, you're potentially cutting your time to market by more than half.
So let's put these two paths directly side by side. This isn't about gut feelings or anything like that. This is a decision you can make based on data. And honestly, the numbers really do speak for themselves.
Look at this, it's night and day. Timeline, you're saving 5 to 6 months. Approval rate, you go from likely to be rejected to approved the first time. You completely avoid up to 2 million euros in lost revenue. And when you add it all up, the partnership approach can lead to a net savings of over 800,000 euros compared to the total cost of failure. It's a no-brainer.
This quote really gets to the heart of the matter. The experts are clear. No applicant can navigate MiCA alone without risking those absolutely devastating losses we just talked about. But also, no lawyer can do it without the client's business vision. It has to be a true partnership, the business strategy and the legal expertise working in perfect sync. One simply cannot succeed without the other.
But getting authorized isn't just about avoiding a catastrophe. It's about building a powerful, sustainable business and grabbing a major strategic advantage in a market that's just getting started.
An approved MiCA license is really 4 things all at once. It's a huge trust signal to your customers that you're legitimate. It's a competitive moat because all your unregulated competitors, they're eventually going to be forced offline.
It's an EU passport, which lets you serve over 30 countries from a single license. And right now, today, it is a massive early mover advantage.
And just how big is that advantage? Well, as of right now, fewer than 100 art issuers have a license across the entire European Union. Think about that. This is a wide open field, but that window of opportunity, it's closing fast, because hundreds of applications are expected to flood in over the next few months.
Which leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. In a market this new, this complex, and this full of opportunity, the risk isn't just about getting your application denied. The real question you should be asking yourself is, what is the true multi-million euro cost of thinking you can go it alone?